start having a seat on our roller. So actually, let me turn sideways so you guys can see a little better. All right, we are gonna bring that left ankle across the right knee, and we are going to shift our weight, so like physically pick up and shift onto the right glute. We're gonna roll back and forth. Getting into that glute, medial glute, in addition to the piriformis, rolling it out. For whatever reason, whenever I think of rolling, I think of that Tina Turner song. She's like, rolling, rolling, right? Wouldn't that be a perfect song for right now? Keep going. Thinking about trying to drop that knee closer to the ground. Welcome, Ui. Good. We're gonna switch to the other side. All you need to do is cross the other leg, shift your weight, grab by the right knee with your left hand. Keep breathing. If there's any spots that are particularly painful, just hang out there. Hang out there for 30 seconds. Do little small rolls and start breaking up that trigger point that's formed. Breathe. Now, as much as going hard in all these workouts that we've been doing, and I'm super proud of everybody for showing up all week long, the recovery work is just as important. All right, so we're gonna be doing a combination of rolling and stretching. So now that we've just rolled through our glute, I'm gonna have you come off your roller. I'm gonna have you lay down on the ground. You're gonna put both legs straight up. You're gonna cross at the knees. So I'm crossing my right knee over my left knee, and then I'm gonna let them both drop, and I'm gonna pull towards my chest by grabbing near my ankles. Pull and breathe. So we're gonna do a combination of rolling and stretching today. Really, with each deep breath you take it in. As you blow it out, pull a little deeper and see if you pull a little harder. See if you can get a little deeper stretch. Do one more time. Good, and really get into that hip and that glute. Awesome, switch your legs. So they're straight up. You cross only at the knees. You drop down. And breathe. You're gonna have one side that's tighter than the other for sure. And that can be just a function of you're more dominant on one side than the other. When you sit at your desk, you cross your leg one over the other more frequently. It could also be because you've had an injury or trauma to one side or the other. But it's perfectly common and normal for one to be tighter than the other. Let's go into those deep breaths. I'm pulling in a little tighter. Beautiful. Uncross those legs. Let's go into the IT band. All right, so right on the hip. And you're gonna drop down. I'm gonna run out of space, but you're gonna roll from your knee to your hip, all right? Let me scoot down just a little bit. So from the hip, I roll all the way to the knee without going over the joint, all right? So that's the most important part. We're not rolling over any bones. Good. We're just trying to get into all that connective tissue, the muscle, as well as the fascial tissue that could prevent us from being able to go through proper ranges of motion. Could cause some of those trigger points to form when the muscles can't work the right way. Good. Again, we have 2 more passes, all the way up, all the way down. If this is particularly sensitive for you and you are going way too fast, if it's way faster than me, you need to slow your roll. Slow it down a little bit. You're not gonna get benefits from going super fast. Good. And other side. I'm flipping over, you guys can just like roll over and face the other way. if you want. Looking over so you can see me. And I'm gonna roll myself off the screen a little bit. Sorry about that, but you know what I'm doing. Breathe. Do you have one side that's more sensitive than the other? Do you have one area on both sides that's sensitive in the same area? That's a possibility too. One side closer to the knee and you notice you have some knee pain sometimes. Oftentimes, pain that we feel comes from, if I feel pain in my knee, 9 out of 10 times, it's from the muscle above or below. It's rarely actually something in the knee, unless there's been like a major trauma, right? Like you've torn your meniscus, you've torn your ACL, PCL, something like that. Good. So now, come off of there. And while a foam roller is actually too broad of a surface and doesn't allow our muscles to sit into it for the hamstrings, we are gonna do some superficial rolling of the hamstrings. In an ideal world, we would have a ball, like a softball, and we would do it on a bench. But we don't have that right now because we're working out from home. So go ahead, put it right by the knees underneath, lift your booty, and roll. The hamstrings are such a dense muscle that you actually need something to get in there a little deeper, but it can still feel really nice to roll them superficially on their outermost layers, especially if your hamstrings are sore like mine. Good. Keep rolling. Remember, you're not going all the way to the calves or into kind of what I like to think of as the knee armpit, the knee pit, which is behind the knee. You're stopping right before you get behind the knee. And you're rolling right up to those sit bones where your hamstrings and your glutes connect. Let's scoot myself back a little bit. Nice. Couple more passes. Then we're actually going to stretch out the hamstrings. They'll be primed a little bit better to take on the stretch we're about to do. Good. All right. So let's kick the right leg out. Tuck the left leg in to whatever feels comfortable for you. It doesn't have to be as tucked in as mine. Maybe it's out here. Maybe it's wherever you want it to be, in all honesty. But I want you to think about keeping your chest up, your back flat. So we're not hunched over, we're not rounding through that low back, but we're actually stretching with a proud chest and a flat back. You're gonna notice if I do that, this is about as far as I can go. If I round, I can go way down here. So proud chest, flat back, reaching with both hands. And there might be like a slight bend in the back, but for the most part, I really want you to think about keeping your chest up, not curling forward. Beautiful, other side. Oof, and I'm way tighter on this side and more sore. Clearly, I need to do some work on my left hamstring. Breathing. With each deep breath, same thing as before, you're getting a little deeper. Beautiful. We are going onto our quads next on the foam roller. So, quads on the foam roller. Around. We're just gonna put both of them right on that foam roller, dropping down like we're in a plank. We're gonna roll from your pelvis to the tops of your knees. Good, pelvis to the tops of the knees. Without, again, rolling over any bones. We don't want any impact on any of the joints. Breathe. Scoot back just a tad. Keep going, and then we'll go into our quad stretch. You can turn your feet out. So heels are together, toes are out. You're gonna get a little different part of your quad. You can have them neutral or straight down. And you can rotate from the hips also and turn your feet in and get a little bit more of that lateral quad that we usually do individually. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna go into side laying quad stretch. So come off your roller, lay left side down. Protect your head in whatever way feels most comfortable so you're not craning your neck. You're gonna grab your foot, your right foot, with your right hand. You're straightening your bottom leg. You're gonna think about pulling your abs in, pressing your right hip forward, and pulling that heel to your butt. If you're losing balance, bend your left leg below you so you have a greater base of support. Good. And now I want you to attempt to extend your right leg. So you're going to press into your hand to give a little contraction and then release. And pull it in just a little bit closer to your butt. And again, press into your hand. We're doing a little active release and release and stretch. You'll get a little bit deeper stretch that way. One more time, press and release. Beautiful. And let's roll over and do the other side. So make sure I'm gonna get my roller out of the way. All right, so bending that top leg, and I'm kind of bending both of mine because I'm running out of space. Not the best camera angle, but I'm pulling my left heel to my booty. I'm pressing my left hip forward. And I'm just hanging out here for like 30 seconds. And then we'll do that same active release technique where we're gonna press into our hand and then pull a little deeper. So press and then pull it in, just a little bit deeper stretch. And press into your hand and relax and pull a little deeper stretch. Now make sure you're not yanking your knee up high. You want to keep it close to your center line. And one more press, press. Good, and pull it back. You also want to make sure we're not tweaking our low back, so keep those abs engaged. Good, release. Let's go into the low back. So sit that roller right behind you. You are going to, and I'm gonna lean away from you guys for this first one so you can see, but you're gonna lean back, drop down. For me, I'm dropping onto my right elbow, and I rotate slightly onto the right. My spine is right here, so it's not touching the roller. You wanna get into that meaty part of your lumbars, and you're really only rolling from the tops of your glutes to the bottom ribs. It's not a big roll, but it's basically from here to here, kind of this meaty part. You may have a sensitive spot in there where the psoas and the QL insert. They're what keep you upright. Your psoas keeps you from falling forward and backwards, and your QL from side to side. And when we spend too much time seated, they can get really irritated. Good, and let's switch to the other side. Nice. Remember, you're not rolling over those ribs. You're also not rolling over any other bones and definitely not putting pressure on your spine. You're slightly off your spine. Good. Keep going. We're going to go after this. We're going to lay down on our back for a gentle twist of the back, opening up the low back. But we have about 20 more seconds here. Breathe and roll. Do you have one side that's more sensitive? It's just like we talked about before. You probably have formed some compensation patterns that are making one side work a little bit more than the other. Good. Come off of there. Go ahead, lay down on your back. I'm gonna pull that right knee to my chest. And then from there, I'm gonna extend my right arm out. And unfortunately, my fireplace is in the way, but I'm gonna extend my right arm out and I'm gonna use my left arm to gently pull my right knee across the body. And my goal is to keep my right shoulder attached to the floor, right? So I don't wanna come all the way up like this. This is not gonna do me any good. I wanna try and keep my upper body attached, including my right shoulder, to the ground as we do this gentle twist for the low back. If you need a deeper stretch, you can do it with a straight leg, which is going to create a longer lever and a little more torque on the low back. So make sure that you don't have any low back injuries or reasons that we should be concerned about you stretching that way. Because I know I have one, maybe two pregnant women in this class right now, you instead can do a seated spinal twist. So everybody else keep laying down. You guys can go here and rotate around, all right? So you can do your spinal twist from a seated position. We have one more big breath here. All the way out, and let's do the other side. Pull the left knee in. Good. Extend the left arm out, using that right arm. Bring your leg across. You can also look towards your fingertips on the left-hand side, allowing your head to gently fall to the left. Breathe. Stretching always feels so good, but we never make time for it. Why is that? It always feels like we need to like fill our time with all the high intensity stuff, but really getting some of that yummy stretching in feels so good. A couple more breaths. Really allowing that knee to just drape over to the right while your left shoulder stays attached to the ground. Last big breath. Good. Pull both knees to chest. You can kind of rock side to side for a second, and then we're going to do some bent leg windshield wipers. So we are actually going to put both arms out to the side and just gently rock knees side to side, truly opening up that low back. Working a little bit of obliques as we pull our legs up, but mostly opening. Also, you'll feel some opening through your chest if you keep your arms fully glued to the ground. You may feel, as they drop all the way to one side, a little opening here through the opposite pec. Beautiful. Let's go to the mid-back. So grab that roller, put it where you imagine a bra line to be, or if you are actually wearing a bra, where your bra line is. So right there in the middle of my back. I'm going to grab, because my hair is long, I'm going to grab it and get it out the way because you will run it over. You also might want to tuck in any shirts that you might run over, and they will get sucked under the roller as well. So hands supporting the head. You start at your bra line. As you lift your booty and roll back towards your neck, you're actually going to drop your head down. Good. And you kind of do a little crunch forward as you roll back towards the bra line. So again, dropping the head down and crunching forward, allowing the shoulders to truly move and open, getting into the traps, to the rhomboids. Nice. Remember, it's not fast. Like, we're not trying to go as fast as we can. We're truly trying, nice. We're really trying to articulate through the spine as we do this rolling. So we want as much movement as possible through our spine, because we don't all want to end up with that hunched over hump in our back as we get older, which young people are actually developing because they stare at computer screens and their cell phones too much hunched over. So we really want to open it up. Good. Come off your roller and onto all fours. you're going to thread the needle. So you're going to take your left hand, palm facing up, dropping down onto the shoulder. Stretching again through the shoulder and the mid-back. So every time we roll an area, we're also stretching that area. We're going to get greater stretch because we've just rolled it. In an ideal world, you always do some form of warming up your muscles before you stretch them. We used to think that you stretch before athletic activity, but it's actually been proven to decrease athletic performance. So instead, try foam rolling before, and then after you work out, do some foam rolling and stretching. One more breath here, and then we'll do the other side. Good, go ahead and switch sides. So again, threading that needle, dropping down onto the shoulder. Depending on how tight your shoulders and back are, you may be feeling a lot in your shoulder, a little in your shoulder. You may be feeling some in your low back or mid back. Totally normal, totally fine. Good. Come up there, off of there, and we're gonna go into our lats. So your lats are kind of these big triangle-shaped muscles in your back, and they're your big movers. So they're what help you pull yourself up. Anything that's kind of this motion or back overhead and back to here, those are your lats. This is probably going to be uncomfortable and painful for all of us, actually, but we should be doing it. So you're going to go from kind of, again, where that bra line is, up into the armpit. And there is a nerve from there. Some people it's more superficial than others. If you find it, if you notice you have electrical pain shooting through any part of your body, you want to get off of that nerve, all right? So maybe you do a shorter range of motion for your roll, or maybe you might need to kind of tweak your body forwards or backwards a little bit to get off that nerve. So just something to keep in mind. So you're starting kind of at that bra line again, and you're letting your arm just kind of hang out there in front, and you're going up to the armpit and back. And it's not a big movement, but we can get in there, yeah. So for me, I'm gonna like roll back a little bit because that's where I can really feel it more than when I'm rolled forward. And I'm actually hanging out on a spot because I can feel it right here. Good. Try not to run my hair over again. We've got about 30 more seconds here. Good. Keep moving. Remember, it's like from the bra line, kind of into the armpit. And then we're going to switch to the other side. In about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Other side. So we have just these lats and then a little lat stretch, and we're going to be done for today. And unfortunately, I can't stay and chat because I have a personal training client at 9:30. So I gotta jump onto a video with her, but you guys are welcome to stay, chat with each other, spend a little more time stretching and rolling. There's so many other areas and ways that you can roll your body, especially if you have a couple other tools, which are a softball, like you play the game of softball with, or a ball similar in size, and either a lacrosse ball, tennis ball, golf ball can be pretty intense, but something slightly a little bit bigger, pinky ball. We can get into feet and other parts of the shoulders and the chest. So if any of you guys end up purchasing those items and we want to do some rolling with those, let me know for future rolling classes. Couple more passes. My right side is worse than my left for sure, my dominant side. All right, come up from there. We're gonna do a seated. You're gonna put both arms up in the air. With your right hand, grab your left wrist, and we are going to lean over to the right. Really opening up our side body. through the lats, into the obliques, and maybe even into that hip if you really focus on gluing your left glute down to the ground. Three big breaths here. Two more. Really pulling and creating space in those ribs. Last one. And good. Other side. Right arm up, reaching over to the left, gluing that right glute down to the ground, really pulling with that left arm. We're here for 30 seconds. Think about nice big breaths. You can allow your head to relax on your left arm. For about 10 more seconds, really reach, reach, reach. Really open up that side body for 3, 2, and 1. Good job, you guys. Thank you for foam rolling and stretching with me today. Thank you for taking care of your bodies.